Hello friends, welcome to video of mathematics. In today's video we will prove an important theorem about semigroup, that is, if in a finite semigroup both the cancellation law hold, then it will becomes a group. That is, friend, if we are given any semigroup G and we are taking any operation of multiplication on the set G, and we have given that both the cancellation laws, right as well as left cancellation law, hold in the set G, then G will become a group under this operation of multiplication. So friends, let's prove it. We have given that G is a finite set. So we are taking A1, A2 up to AN be distinct elements of the set G. As these all elements of G is distinct, so order of G is N. And we are taking the binary operation as operation of multiplication. Friends, if we take any element A from the set G, that is A is one of these elements, and we define another set S like this. Friends, we have defined a new set S by multiplying each of the elements of G with A from right hand side. As we know, A1, A2 up to AN, these are all the elements of G, and A is also one of these elements. And we have just multiplied A with each of these elements to form set S. We have multiplied A1 with A, A2 with A, up to AN with A. So friend, each of these elements are nothing but elements of G also. Because if we consider first element A1A, A1 is also from G and A is also from G, and we have just multiplied these two elements of G, and we know G is what? G is semigroup, and semigroup satisfy closure property. So multiplication of these two numbers also belongs to G. So all these elements are nothing but elements of G. So we get all the elements of S are nothing but elements of G. So we can say S is either equal to G or contained in G. So friends, we have understood that S is nothing but this is the set either equal to G or contained in G. Next, we will prove that all the elements of S are distinct. So friends, we are to prove that all elements of S are distinct. To prove this, let's prove this. Friends, let's assume for any I not equal to J, where I also lies between 1 and n, and J also lies between 1 and n. Let's assume that two of these elements are equal, that is, for any I, AIA is equal to AJA, where I and J lies between 1 and n, and such that I is not equal to J. But friends, we are given that G satisfy both cancellation law, that is, G will also satisfy right cancellation law. So it means what? We can cancel A from right side on each of these two sides. So from here what we get? AI is equal to AJ. But from where AI and AJ elements are coming, these are the elements from the set G, and we have assumed that all elements of G are distinct. But here we get two elements of G are equal, where I is not equal to J. So here we get a contradiction. That means our assumption was wrong. What we had assumed that for any I, any two elements of S are equal. So what we get from here? For any I and J, such that I is not equal to J. So what we get from here? That all elements of S are distinct. So friends, if all elements of S are different, then what can be order of S? Order of S must be equal to n. Why? Because all these 1, 2, 3 up to n, all these n elements are distinct. So order of s, what is order of s? Order of s will be equal to n. Friends, understand all these three terms. We have order of g is equal to n and order of s is equal to n. But s is either equal to g or contained in g. From here, we can have two possibilities. Either s is contained in g or s is equal to g. But if s is contained in g, then their cardinalities, that is number of elements, they should not be equal. But we have given that number of elements in each of these two sets are equal. So this possibility is cancelled. So what we get from here, that set S is equal to set G. So friends, what we get from here, that set S is equal to set G. So each element of G must be equal to one of these element. That is, if I take any element B from set G, then B must be equal to one of these elements. Let's assume for any L lies between 1 and n. Let's assume that B is equal to AL into A. And we know for each B from the set G, there must be unique L such that B is equal to AL into A. So from here, what we get, that AL is unique solution of the equation B is equal to YA, where Y is equal to AL is the unique solution. And A and B are the elements from the set G. So friends, what we get from here, for any A and B belongs to G, where G is given semigroup, this equation B is equal to YA has unique solution in the set G. Friends, consider this equation as first equation. Can you set? Friends, when we have taken the set S, what we have done, we just multiply any element A from the set G with each of these elements from right side. Now what will we do? We will multiply each element of G with A from left side. Like, we'll make another set named T, got from set G by multiplying A with each of the elements of G from left side. Like, first element will be AA1, second element will be AA2, and last element will be AAN. Friends, similarly as we have done earlier, A is also element from set G, and A1, A2 up to AN, these are also elements from set G, and if we multiply them, and we get elements like AA1, AA2 up to AN, these elements will be also elements of G because G and G satisfy the closure property. So similarly as we have done earlier, T is also contained in G. And further we will prove that all elements of T are distinct. Similarly as we have done earlier, we will assume that for any I not equal to J, where I and J lies between 1 and n, we will assume that for any I and J, two of these elements are equal, like AAI is equal to AAJ. And similarly, as we know that G satisfy both cancellation laws, so G satisfy left cancellation law. That means we can cancel A from left side on each of these two sides. So from here what we get, AI is equal to AJ, and AI and AJ are the elements that are coming from set G, and we know all elements of G are distinct. So similarly we will get contradiction here, and what we get from here, that all elements of T are distinct from the set. Friends, we will do all things same as we have done earlier for the set S. Okay. Like here we got that all elements of T are distinct. So what can we order of T? If all elements of T are distinct and we can count A1, A2 up to AN, so what can we order of T? Order of T is nothing but n. So friends, we have this equation, and this equation, and this equation. We know T is either equal to G from this equation, that is T is either equal to G or contained in G. This equation implies that T is either equal to G or T is contained in G. But from these two equations, what we know that their cardinalities are same. That is, number of elements in G and T are same. So T cannot be contained in G. So what we get? T is equal to G. So friends, we get this set T is same as the set G. So friends, we got that T set is same as the set G. And similarly, if we take any element B from set G, then B must be equal to one of these elements. That is, for any K lies between 1 and n, B must be equal to some A into AK. And this AK should be unique because all these elements are distinct. That is, each element from set G must be equal to some unique element from the set T. So friends, from this equation what we get? AK's unique solution of the equation B is equal to AX, where A and B are the elements from semigroup G. So friends, again we have proved that if G is the semigroup under the operation of multiplication, then for this equation B is equal to AX, G has unique solution. So friends, consider this equation as second. So friends, from equation first and second, what we get? For any A and B belongs to G, either we take equation of type this, or we take an equation of type this. Both of these equations have unique solution in the set G. So friends, we got a semigroup G in which both of these equations have a unique solution. And in our previous video, we have proved that if we have given any semigroup such that both of these two equations have unique solution on the set G, then G will form a group. So from here what we get? G is nothing but G is a group under the operation of multiplication. So friend, we have proved that if we have given any finite semigroup and we have given that both the cancellation laws hold in that semigroup, then the semigroup will form group. Friends, this result is very important. We will use this result in many theorems. So thank you for watching this video.